Nothing at all, nothing redeemable in him. And we have to, and whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there, for some reason, it can't be. It cannot be. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him, take him at his word.
Do you think our democracy is at risk in this election?
I think that it is. I always keep saying democracy is great, of course, but democracy people take for granted. It's a word that some people don't even understand. They take it for granted. It's about right and wrong, period. The guy's a monster. He is beyond wrong. It's almost like he wants to do the most horrible things that he can think of in order to get a rise out of us. I don't know what it is, but he's been doing it, and it's scary.
Are you
Excuse my French.
Last year, Robert De Niro went all in with his anti-Trump rhetoric, raging in interview after interview, throwing out wild accusations at the GOP frontrunner. He called Trump everything from a monster to a fascist, casting himself as some noble defender of democracy. But guess what? It turned out to be another dose of classic Hollywood hypocrisy, and Bill Maher just tore the mask right off. If you're into brutal political takedowns and truth bombs the mainstream media won't touch, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment.
Bottom line is, it's Biden versus Trump. We want to live in a world that we want to live in and enjoy living in, or live in a nightmare. Vote for Trump, and you'll get the nightmare. Vote for Biden, and we'll be back to normalcy.
Yeah. So why is Trump winning? I mean, the New York Times poll this week came out, and maybe this will change it with the State of the Union address, but Trump was beating him rather soundly. It was quite a warning light, 48-43, also winning way more among women than he had before, winning outright Latinos. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I just don't want to feel the way I did, and many of us don't, after the election in 2016, where we couldn't believe that it happened.
This is what Trump derangement syndrome does. It strips away logic, reason, and any sense of reality. Robert De Niro had a whole list of reasons why people shouldn't vote for Trump, yet he couldn't name a single reason why millions of Americans, including a surprising number of women, wanted him back in office. That's the kind of blindness this mindset creates. And to those still clinging to the idea that Trump only had a shot because Biden wasn't mentally fit, wake up. Pre-election polls showed Trump gaining ground, and it wasn't just a slight edge. The momentum was real, and Democrats knew it. That's why there was chaos behind the scenes. Not because they wanted a fair fight, but because they wanted to change the game. Biden's team didn't just ride things out. They nudged him aside and quietly started positioning Kamala Harris to take over. If you notice that, you're not crazy. You're just finally seeing things clearly.
He's a total monster. And anybody, I don't understand it. I guess they get behind that kind of logic. They want to fuck with people, screw them, because they're unhappy about something. He's such a mean, nasty, hateful person. I never play him as an actor, because I can't see any good in him. Nothing.
Hold on a second, did I hear that right? Did Robert De Niro seriously say he wouldn't play Donald Trump if asked? First of all, who's asking? Why would anyone even consider casting him as Trump when they look nothing alike? That's like casting Danny DeVito to play LeBron James. Come on. And let's not kid ourselves, De Niro isn't the only A-list actor in Hollywood. This isn't some bold, selfless stand. It's not a sacrifice. It's delusional at best, laughable at worst. Just more ramblings from a man who's clearly losing his grip. Anyway, let's fast forward to the part where he starts making those wild predictions.
Redeemable in him. And we have to, and whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there, for some reason, It can't be. It cannot be. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
This is absolutely wild. Trump has been back in office for months now, and let's be honest. How many of Robert De Niro's apocalyptic predictions have actually come true? None. Not even close. But you know what has happened? Trump's done things no one saw coming, like inviting one of his fiercest critics, Bill Maher, to the White House. Yes, that Bill Maher, the outspoken Democrat loyalist who spent decades torching Republicans and donating to liberal causes. Not a single Democratic president, Obama, Clinton, not even Biden, gave Maher that kind of access. But Trump did. Why? Because unlike many of his critics, Trump doesn't run from confrontation. He doesn't hide behind safe spaces, echo chambers, or tightly controlled media appearances. He leans into the fire, and that's exactly what makes him so unpredictable, and in many ways, so effective. So sure, De Niro was right about one thing. Trump has done the unimaginable. Just not in the way he or the Hollywood echo chamber ever expected.
Do you think our democracy is at risk in this election?
I think that it is. I always keep saying democracy is great, of course, but democracy people take for granted. It's a word that some people don't even understand. They take it for granted. It's about right and wrong, period. The guy's a monster. He is beyond wrong. It's almost like he wants to do the most horrible things that he can think of in order to get a rise out of us. I don't know what it is, but he's been doing it, and it's scary.
Are you
Excuse my French.
At this point, it's painfully obvious that Robert De Niro knows very little about anything outside of acting, and throwing insults at Donald Trump. Just listen to how he defines democracy. He starts by claiming most people don't understand. It then offers a definition so laughably shallow, it sounds like it was pulled straight from a middle school social studies textbook. It's arrogant. It's embarrassing. And honestly, are we even surprised? This is classic woke Hollywood behavior, loud, self-righteous, and completely detached from reality. These people live in a bubble so thick, it's practically soundproof. They preach about democracy while silencing dissent. They claim the moral high ground, but can't tolerate opposing views. De Niro isn't unique. He's just the loudest voice in a chorus of elites who don't understand anything beyond their red carpet echo chamber, and the rest of us, we're done pretending they're the adults in the room.
Totally dumbfounded, baffled by that. I can't understand it. And it's a thing that we've seen over decades and decades. And he's a what's it, Tammy Faye and the other one?
Yes.
It's the same thing, give us your money, we're going to save you. Yeah, televangelist.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing.
Give us your money, save the world, and watch our shows. Yeah, it's the same tired script. But De Niro didn't stop at attacking Trump. He went further and took aim at everyday Americans who support him. He flat out gaslit millions of voters, painting them as gullible fools duped by a con man. According to De Niro, if you back Trump, you're either stupid, blind, or brainwashed. That's the kind of contempt he has for anyone outside his elitist bubble. But here's the irony. The same man who mocks Trump supporters as mindless is out here parroting talking points from late-night hosts and activist journalists like they're gospel. That's not critical thinking, that's herd mentality. De Niro thinks he's woke because he echoes the opinions of his Hollywood circle. But that's not intelligence, it's conformity. And it's exactly why more and more Americans are tuning celebrities out. People are sick of being talked down to by out-of-touch millionaires who confuse fame with wisdom. Spoiler alert, it's not the same thing. And then one day, De Niro ran into a Trump supporter on the streets of New York, and let's just say, it was fireworks.
Favorite president, I forgive you, Bobby, for being such a loser about the election. It's not your fault you were born with a low IQ. It's not your fault, Bobby. Believe me. Bobby, your favorite president won. Kamala lost. She lost so strongly. You were wrong. You're a loser. You're a total loser. This show sucks. You're gonna get low ratings.
But seriously, what gives Robert De Niro the right to lecture the rest of us on who we should or shouldn't vote for? He lives in a Hollywood bubble, completely insulated from the struggles everyday Americans face. While working families were getting crushed by soaring gas prices, skyrocketing grocery bills, and paychecks that barely made it to the end of the month under President Biden, De Niro was sipping wine in his multi-million-dollar mansion, untouched by the reality most people live in. He didn't feel the squeeze. He didn't have to decide between paying rent or putting food on the table. So when he arrogantly scolds Americans for supporting Trump, it reeks of elitist ignorance. Look, if De Niro has a personal grudge against Trump, that's his business. But that doesn't give him the moral authority to gaslight and belittle millions of hardworking citizens for exercising their democratic right to choose a leader who actually hears them. Because unlike Hollywood, the real world isn't a red carpet, and people are done being talked down to.
Damning revelations tonight about the Biden inner circle's efforts to hide his decline, including a scene in which the campaign staged a fake town hall. Why? Well, to quell concerns about his age and ability to interact with people.
Meanwhile, the very Democrats Robert De Niro was passionately campaigning for, urging Americans to keep in power, were busy staging town halls and tightly scripted events just to prop up their struggling candidate, Joe Biden. Think about that. This is the party De Niro wants us to blindly support? A party so terrified of the truth, they couldn't even level with the American people about Biden's obvious mental decline. Instead of confronting reality, they buried it, shielding him from tough interviews, limiting his public appearances, and feeding the media carefully crafted talking points to disguise what everyone could plainly see. But now, the truth is unraveling. A new book by CNN's Jake Tapper is reportedly set to expose the full scope of Biden's cognitive struggles and how it sent the DNC into a quiet state of panic. The cover-up is finally cracking open, and it's uglier than anyone admitted.
Have used fake town halls. Now, I would say those town halls usually are in addition to real town halls. Joe Biden was doing neither. This fake town hall was in order to film it so they could make it into campaign commercials. They filmed it in Delaware with supporters. But Joe Biden, at this point, this is the spring of 2024, Joe Biden's town hall, which was closed to press, was so bad that campaign officials determined that it was not usable for a campaign commercial. So they took 90 minutes, 2 hours out of the president's day, they filmed an entire town hall, and they determined that it was not usable. Yep. This was because Joe Biden was incoherent. He could not really articulate his thoughts in a pithy or even semi-normal way. Some people just said like the lighting was bad. That was sort of the 2 points of view. But the point is, it shows how like what the campaign status was in the spring of 2024 when they were trying to deal with a candidate that wasn't a decline.